How's it going, YouTube family? Happy Monday to all you out there. This is Chef Timmy J coming at you with another banger today. We're going to test out this Instant Pot. I've had the Instant Pot or several Instant Pots for a few months, and I really want to test this out and see whether or not we can actually make a chicken soup just using some random ingredients that I found around the house. Ingredients that I have for you today: I've got 4 chicken thighs. They are bone-in chicken thighs that we're going to use today. I've got some white button mushrooms. I've got a bowl of bean sprouts that we're going to use today. I've got a white onion. We're going to use some of that today. In this container, I've got the Knorr's chicken broth for bouillon. This is so we can make our stock. I've got a tomato hiding over here. The tomato doesn't want you to see him. Also, in the very back, we've got some scallions. We're going to put our scallions in here. And then I've got a bag that I used in another recipe. This is basically a mixture of cilantro, some carrots, and then I love heat. So I have some jalapenos already chopped up. And then we'll put a little cornstarch in our mixture, a little bit of olive oil. And so we'll get started. Let me move some things out of the way so you all can see what I'm doing here. And what I've done is I've taken the chicken breasts and I've put them in the bowl. And I've got some paper towels that I put in here because we want to make sure that we pat these chicken thighs dry. Try to get them as dry as possible before we make our soup. We're going to put some seasoning on here. Question for you folks out there, YouTube family. How confident are you in the Instant Pot? Was this a type of invention that was just like a one-hit wonder, or is this an invention that is definitely a game changer? Please put your comments down there in the chat. I definitely want to see what kind of comments you have and what kind of test have you all done with the Instant Pot. I've heard many people say that, oh, it's great, this is the best thing, and so I'm going to test it out today to see whether or not this is really cracked up to what it's supposed to be. I'm going to set this trash to the side. So I've pat dried those chicken thighs. Those are good. And so now what I'm going to do is I want to go ahead and let me also wash my hands off, because anytime you tamper with meat, you want to make sure that you definitely clean your hands. You don't want any cross contamination. So bear with me just a second as I wash my hands. All right, so I've got my hands washed, and we're gonna take some Knorr's seasoning, and I've got a tablespoon here, and I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons of Knorr's seasoning just on top of these chicken thighs. This is gonna definitely help flavor those chicken thighs. I like chicken thighs. You can use any kind of chicken that you want, boneless. You can use bone-in. This is actually bone-in. I personally think it flavors the seasoning, or it flavors the soup really well when you have bone-in. Next, I'll grab a little bit of cornstarch, and this is also a thickening agent. It's to help thicken up our soup. So I'm definitely gonna use 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, so that way it'll give our soup a little bit of substance here. And so we're gonna set this off to the side. Next, I'm going in with some olive oil. So we'll take our olive oil, and this is about 2 tablespoons. That's 2 tablespoons of olive oil. We'll put that there. And I'm not gonna use any other seasonings because I want to test this out. Sometimes if you over season things, it can make your food just a little too overbearing. So we've only used really one type of seasoning, which everything is gonna come from that Norris, and we're gonna see if this is gonna be a banger soup. So now I'm gonna go in with my hands, and I'm just gonna make sure that I massage and mix up that Norris with the cornstarch and that olive oil. Olive oil is gonna help all of this stuff stick together. So we're just gonna take our time and we're gonna keep mixing because we wanna make sure we get all of that batter all over our chicken. This is gonna be a great and amazing soup. One of the things that inspired me to start doing product reviews and also doing cooking videos is that when I was a kid, I would always try to be in the kitchen with my mom, and I was always breaking and damaging things. And so she would say, okay, if you're going to be tearing things up, then you're going to learn how to fix them and you're going to learn how to read. So I had to start reading the manuals and learning how all of these contraptions work. I'm stepping off over here, ladies and gentlemen, and washing my hands. And as I began to learn how to repair and how all the different gadgets and tools work, it built a fascination for me when it came to cooking and testing out different gadgets and appliances. So that's how I actually got into my liking of cooking and definitely using different gadgets and tools. So now that we've got that seasoned up, we're going to do something different. Normally I would let this sit for about 30 minutes so it would soak in, but we're going to test this. This is about the Instant Pot today. We're going to test this Instant Pot out. So what I want to do is I'll move this to the side here, and we're going to pull out our mushrooms, and we're going to chop up our mushrooms because we're going to saute. I want to see, how does this saute feature work with this Instant Pot? And so I'm going to hit the saute button here on this Instant Pot. It defaults to about 30 minutes. We won't actually saute for 30 minutes, but I'm just going to hit start so I can let this and test and see how fast this thing warms up. And in the meantime, I'm grabbing a knife. And so let's cut up our mushrooms. And I just sliced mine in half one time. I sauteed the mushrooms to do my best to try and get a little bit of that moisture out of the mushroom. So that way you won't get all that spongy taste when you bite into the mushroom. So we're going to saute these mushrooms and see how this does. So I've gotten that chopped up. I'm gonna set my knife over here to the side so that way I won't get cut. And I'm gonna grab some more of my olive oil. I'm gonna put about 2 tablespoons of olive oil in our Instant Pot. So that way that gives us enough base. Now as this is sauteing up, I'm looking inside of the pot and we'll see how long this actually takes to warm up and start sauteing. And so I'm peeping inside, and you can tell that one of the differences, it's not like the induction. I love my little induction stove. Literally with the induction, I can drop something in my induction and within less than 15 to 30 seconds, it's already heated up and starting to cook. But anyway, this will take a little bit. So I'm just going to take these mushrooms and I'm going to just drop them down in here, no particular way, because again, this is going to be our soup. And while those mushrooms are sauteing, we're going to take this onion, we're going to chop up some onion. Now, with some people, if you don't want the fresh taste of the onion and you want a more less chewy type taste, then you can go ahead and drop your onions in now. I don't want that hot taste today. So we're going to chop this up. We're going to dice it up. And then we're going to put it inside of our Instant Pot. I use about this much onion. I'm going to drop that down in there. And I can definitely hear it sizzling. Now, I've read in different comments that you can get this burn error. And so I'm going to see whether that burn error comes on. There's a burn error that comes on and it basically shuts down your entire Instant Pot. It's a great feature, but it sucks per se. I'm going to grab one of my wooden spatulas and then I'm going to get in here and we're going to start mixing this around because we definitely don't want it to burn. We already know that mushrooms and onions make their own liquid. One of the disadvantages I can tell already with the Insta Pot is you can't control the level of heat on your saute feature, so you just gotta make sure it doesn't burn. You leave it there for a couple seconds and maybe mix it around a bit, but you definitely don't want it to burn. So this is good. I think we're gonna saute all of our veggies today. We'll actually add our bean sprouts at the very end. So now I'm gonna take some scallions, and I've actually already rough chopped these scallions. I'm gonna chop them just one time, a little bit more, nothing great, and we're just gonna dump those scallions in there. We'll go with some more scallions. I need to use these up. My wife bought these scallions and she says, every time I buy vegetables, you tell me to get them, but then you don't eat them soon enough. You let them spoil. So I'm going to see if we can change that. So I've dumped those in there and I can definitely smell the aromatics. I'm just going to mix these all around because again, I don't want anything to burn. And see, there you are, folks. It says there was a light that came on that said hot, hot. So it's amazing. I'm going to add a little bit more oil because I don't want anything to burn. So I'm adding about another 2 tablespoons of oil. And this is olive oil that I'm adding. And then I'm going to mix these around some more. Just mix it around. Mix it all around. Yep, that's right, YouTube family. This is our mix. And so this looks really good. I would say that I've had these veggies in here now for about a minute. I'll let them cook for about 1 more minute. And I'm gonna chop up this tomato. So we'll chop up the tomato, move this out the way. That'll go in my trash pile. Cut the end of this so that way we have a surface that tomato can sit on. And I'm gonna do diced. We'll do diced tomato today. Rough chop diced tomato. This is gonna be a hearty, you want a hearty soup. Plus, tomatoes have a lot of liquid. We need those liquids. I think we need those liquids. So that way, again, this will stop this from burning. Definitely don't want this to do any kind of burning. And so I'm gonna mix. We got beautiful colors here. You got scallions, mushrooms, you got some white onions. This is looking good. It's really smelling really amazing too. So I think this has been in here for about 2 minutes. I want some more onion. So I'm gonna chop up some more onion. Definitely gonna chop up a little bit more onion. I'll dice those up. I'm a rough chop, ladies and gentlemen. Just rough chopping my onions. Again, this is gonna be a hearty chicken soup. So far, it appears that the saute function is working to the point where we have not received a burn error and it has not shut down this entire process. We did get a hot light indicator. I guess that was to just let me know that, hey, this food is really hot. Be careful. So that's good. These veggies have been in here for about two minutes or so. I'm gonna mix again, just getting it all around, all over the place. So far, so good, folks. It's smelling amazing. If you can smell that, it's amazing. Let's go ahead and add our bag of jalapeno peppers, cilantro, and carrots. That's what I have here. I'm just taking those veggies and I'm dumping them in here. Use whatever kind of veggies you want for your chicken soup. Again, this is no noodle chicken. I'm just mixing this all around. It's smelling and looking really good. So I think that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that saute feature off, which I have done there. And the more I think about it, we've actually let our chicken thighs sit for about 5 minutes. So what I want to do is I'm gonna lay these chicken thighs on top of these vegetables. I don't want them to really necessarily touch the bottom of the skillet. So I put those in there. I'm gonna wash my hands a bit, and then I want to position this camera so you all can see the magic that's going on in this pot. Just bear with me a moment. I'm gonna try to move this over. If you can see, and OMG, this is totally amazing, folks. Let me go down just a little. Let me come in. I'm my only cameraman. I'm a brand new YouTube channel, so I'm learning how to operate all the features and all the technology. You gotta start somewhere. So one of the things I hope you guys do is make sure you like and subscribe, so that way I can keep bringing you content. And if you're a beginner to cooking, I believe in just being positive. You all can do it. Don't try to be too perfect. And I think that's the problem with a lot of people. We put too much pressure on ourselves trying to be perfect. What I'm doing here is I'm actually going to grab some fresh water. I'm going to grab about 6 cups of water. So I'm filling up my water now, and we're going to put 6 cups of water in our Instant Pot, and then we will seal our Instant Pot up, and we will let the Instant Pot do its thing for about 15 minutes. That's plenty for me, because I've got to be forced to eat all of this chicken soup by myself. And so what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to set this pressure cook for 15 minutes. I'm going to close the lid and I'll make sure this is closed. It definitely seals. This is one of the Insta Pots that'll automatically seal as soon as you close it. And I'm going to hit start. And once we come back, folks, I will let you see what this soup looks like, a chicken noodle soup. I'll tell you something else that we will do too is I will actually take off the skin and take out the bone, and then I'll shred the chicken and then add it back, and then I'll show you a finished result as soon as we come back. So stay tuned. Be back. All right, YouTube family, let's open this up. It has been in the Instant Pot for about 15 minutes. And so we are going to open up our pot. And what we are going to do here is I'm going to grab a spatula because this is very hot. And what we want to do is I'm going to take out all of the chicken thighs and I'm going to put it in this bowl because I want to separate the skin off of the meat. And this is just falling off the bone. This is totally amazing. It's definitely falling off the bone. But what we will do is we will take off the skin, we'll pull out the bones, and then we're going to add this chicken right back to our chicken soup. And then there's one other ingredient I didn't think about, guys, but I forgot to tell you about the other ingredient that I have for you is we're going to take about a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of tomato paste and we're going to add it back to this. So it's going to be good. So there we have it. I've got the chicken thighs in the bowl. What I'm going to go ahead and do is get my tongs, and I've got another bowl on the side here, and I'm going to take this skin and just pull this skin off. I don't want the skin. Some of you may like the skin, but I don't need it this particular time. So we're going to take our time and we're going to pull the skin off. What I do want is all of this meat that is just definitely falling off the bones. This is just totally amazing. If you can see how easy the skin just pulls right off. And the aromatics, the smell is just amazing. It reminds you of just, if you've ever done like some chicken dumplings, homemade chicken dumplings, it gives you that definite southern comfort feel. So I've gotten all the skin off. I'm gonna put my spatula, my tongs to the side. And I've got 2 forks here, and I'm gonna go ahead and start shredding apart the meat. Just pulling this meat apart. I want you to see, I'm gonna see if I can grab some of this meat, but just take a look at that meat. I don't know if you can see that, but that meat there, oh my goodness. It is amazing. And it's just so easily just falling off the bone. I'm gonna take these bones out too, because we don't want bones in our chicken. So definitely take the bones out. I could literally just take my hand and the meat just falls off. And so I'm gonna sit that to the side in my bowl. Keep pulling apart the meat because this is a homemade chicken soup in the Instant Pot. So far, it appears to be living up to the positive comments about the Instant Pot. And then, of course, I'm going to taste our soup and let you know how good this soup was. Got just a few more bones here to pull out. I should take just a few more moments. Just bear with me. This goodness is just amazing. Again, guys, I can't say it enough. I'm starting out my YouTube channel. I'm definitely new to the space. If you have any tips on how to stay motivated, definitely not give up. To all of us new YouTube content creators, please make sure you share your comments, put your comments on the page. And I do respond. I do my best to try and to respond to each comment, positive or negative. I try to look at everything with the positive approach. Again, this is definitely amazing. So there we have it. We have all of the meat and the bone and the skin is off. This looks amazing. I'm gonna put one of these forks to the side. I'm gonna take this and get me a spatula, another one of my little wooden spoons here. I'll grab this one. And we're gonna dump this chicken back into our soup. And this is totally amazing. Get all that goodness. Definitely that goodness. Definitely that goodness. I'm gonna mix that up. Mix it up really well. If you can see, this looks amazing. And so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab a bowl and I'm gonna put this in a bowl. And then when I return, I'm going to show you the finished results of our homemade chicken soup in the Insta Pot. Was it really worth the hype? I believe it was. Back in a moment. And here we have it, folks. Just take a look at this chicken soup. We've added some bean sprouts to it. I didn't show you all that I added about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste just to give it a little bit more substance, but it's loaded. This chicken soup, you definitely saw me make it. I would say that the Instant Pot is definitely a game changer. I'm gonna add a little bit of black pepper here. Probably more than a little bit because I like pepper. I'm gonna add a good generous amount of black pepper. That is great. And then I'm gonna taste this, ladies and gentlemen. So bear with me. I'm mixing it up and then I'm going in. It's so amazing. I want one of those big old mushrooms. Look at that. Look at that mushroom. Oh my goodness. Just look at that. Look at that. I'm going in. I'm going in. I hope I don't burn myself, but I'm going in. Here I go. Here I go. Woo! Folks, that's loaded with flavor. I know I'm talking with my mouth full, but I've got to break all etiquette. This is amazing. Definitely amazing. Please make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, Mr. Jack 6087. Also, take a look at all of my videos. I've got plenty of content, and I look forward to coming to you on the next. Peace.